Hello everyone, welcome back to our session, and the topic that we are going to discuss in today's session is water or water, which is of class 3 NCRT. So we are going to discuss this topic in detail today. So let's begin. So when we talk about water, what comes to our mind? We we can't imagine our life without water, isn't it? It's because we use water for our daily activities, for everything that we do. We use water, and the basic thing that we use water for is for drinking. We drink water, and if we don't get water to drink, do you know what will happen? क्या होगा अगर हमको पानी नहीं मिले पीने के लिए? What will happen? We will die. We will die of thirst. So water is very important for us, for animals, for plants, for all the living creatures in this world. Water is very important. अगर water नहीं होगा तो no one will be able to survive in this world. So water is the most important thing that we have on earth. So we are going to learn about this water, and from the let's see, first of all, see what are the topics we are going to learn relating to water. In this session we are going to learn about water in different forms, like where do we get water from, different uses of water, what are the different uses of water, what are the different sources of water, from where can we get water, and container used for the storage of water. So let's move on and let's learn for each one of them. Water in different forms. There are three forms of water. So water is present on earth and in the world in three forms: solid, liquid, and water as a gas, that is vapor. So the first state is solid water. Solid water, we call it ice. So barf, you have seen ice, right, in your refrigerator, and that is what water. When you keep that water in your refrigerator, it turns into ice after some time. So that is ice, that is basically water turned into solid form. Pure water is tasteless, odorless, and colorless. So if you talk about pure water, the very purest form of water, if you taste that, it would be tasteless. You would not get any taste of that water. It would be odorless. You will not be able to smell that water. You will not get any smell from that water, and it would be colorless, and that water will have no color. So water is in the solid state. When it's in solid state, it's ice. Now when liquid water, when we talk about liquid water, that is wet and fluid. So that would be a little that will not be in the solid state, that would not be in gaseous state, that would be just fluid, in fluid form, in liquid form. Like the normal water that we drink, it is in liquid form, fluid form. And then water as a gas. So the third one is water as a gas, which is vapor, which is like जब हम पानी उबालते हैं, so the vapor that forms, जो कि rise होता है from your container in which you are boiling the water, the vapor that rises, that is the vapor water in vapor state. So these three are the different forms of water. Now let's see what are the uses of water. Where do we use water? So like the first use is cooking. जब हमारी मदर खाना बनाती हैं, the vegetables that she cooks, the kneading of the dough that she does, everything needs water. Then drinking, the basic activity drinking that we do, उसमें हमको वाटर की ज़रूरत होती है, एंड दैट टू क्लीन एंड प्योर वाटर वी ड्रिंक. And if we don't get water for drinking, what will happen? We will not be able to survive. So you can see this girl drinking water. Then bathing, we then you can see this boy bathing with water. So bathing is the basic activity we do with water. Washing, we wash our clothes, we wash utensils, we wash other things, we wash sometimes we wash our house, we wash the floor with water. So all these things we washing we do with water. Swimming, we go for swimming, and there in the swimming pool you can have seen there's water in the swimming pool. So if we are going for swimming and we don't have water, how would we do our swimming, right? So swimming requires water. Rafting, you must have seen river rafting, people doing river rafting. What do? In river they just take a boat sort of thing, they sit in on that, and they and that river they jump into that river, and that is how they do river rafting. So for that also we need water. Boating, boats, for rowing our boat we need a water. We need rivers, we need we have seen in rivers people do boating, right? Farming, gardening and fisheries. So other than that, what in farming, the farmers put water in their fields so that their crops grow well, right? So farming में when the farmer is plowing their field and doing all other activities, they need water. Gardening, when you are gardening, when you are giving water to your plants at home, you can see this girl, she is doing gardening, she is watering plants. So gardening needs water. Then fisheries, like in the rivers and oceans, fishes, all the fish that are there, they survive using water. Other than that, uh, along with the fisheries, the people who are involved in this fishing, the fishing business, the people who are involved in this fishing business, what do? वो fishes वो पालते हैं. They have a small area where they have water, and उस वाटर में दे कीप द फिश. जब वो फिश बड़ी हो जाती हैं, सो दे टेक इट आउट एंड दे सेल देम. So that is the fishing business that they people do. So for that also they need water, because fish can survive only in water. So for all these activities they need water. Now let's come to different sources of water. From where do we get water? What are the different sources from where we get water? So there are two main sources of water. For first main source of water is the natural sources. So natural sources जिनसे हमें पानी मिलता है, that is rain water. So the first basic thing from where we get water is the rain water. जब बारिश होती है तो ग्राउंड वाटर में भी पानी होता है, ज़मीन के अंदर पानी जाता है. रिवर्स, लेक्स, ओशंस, एवरीवेयर वाटर अक्यूमुलेट होता है ड्यू टू रेन वाटर जब बारिश होती है. ओशंस से हमें पानी मिलता है, दैट इज़ समुंदर में बहुत पानी होता है, एंड फ्रॉम देयर ऑल्सो वी गेट वाटर. रिवर्स, फ्रॉम रिवर्स वी गेट वाटर. देन लेक्स, दैट इज़ तालाब, लेक्स से भी पानी मिलता है. सो दीज आर द नेचुरल सोर्सेज जहाँ पे पानी रहता ही रहता है, दैट इज़ नेचुरली अकरिंग. ओके, now let's come to the other ones. Streams, स्ट्रीम यानी कि छोटा मोटा पॉन्ड, स्ट्रीम्स, ये सब से भी हमें पानी मिलता है। नाउ दीज आर द नेचुरल सोर्सेज, इनको किसी ने बनाया नहीं है, दे आर नेचुरली फॉर्म्ड, दे आर फॉर्म्ड, they are not formed by any human being, they are naturally occurring sources of water. Now the second source of water is the man-made sources. Now in man-made sources, the human beings have made certain sources from where we can get water. So ये जो sources होते हैं, ये हमारे घरों में भी होते हैं. These are the sources that we have made for our benefit, हमारे easy benefit के लिए. Now we can't go to the river and take water, right? अगर हमको पानी पीना है तो हम रिवर में नहीं जा सकते पानी पीने के लिए, या समुंदर के पास नहीं जा सकते पानी पीने के लिए ग्लास लेके एवरी टाइम. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू आर convenience, we have made certain sources of water, and such sources are called man-made sources, which are made by man. So डैम्स बिल्ड किए जाते हैं रिवर्स के थ्रू, जिस वो डैम्स क्या करते हैं, दे स्टोर वाटर, दे स्टोर वाटर ऑफ हेवी फ्लोइंग रिवर्स, एंड this water is used for other purposes, for irrigation, for generating electricity, and for many other purposes. So dams जो होते हैं, these are man made sources जो कि man बनाते हैं, and they are used for storing water and for using it for various purposes. We have wells यानी कि you can see it over here, this is a well. So कुआं we call it in Hindi. So this well is used for as a water resource. Like in villages, people take out water from this well and use it for their household purposes. So well, then we have tube wells. You can see a tube well over here. People also in villages and even in cities, people use these tube wells to get water. They directly pump these tube wells, and the water comes out into the bucket. So, and this water is underground. Both well and tube wells use underground water, that is water below the earth. Then we have hand pumps. Hand pumps are also quite similar to tube wells only. In hand pumps also we pump the water, and that comes out and is used for various purposes. Then we have canals. People also build canals around rivers, and these canals also help us to get water, especially for irrigation purposes, for irrigation in farms and all other such things. Now here are a few questions that this boy is asking. Which source of water do you use to take water? So what do you think? What is the source from where you take water? This you have to think on your own from all the sources that we discussed. Like dams, wells, tube wells, hand pumps, canals, streams, ponds, rainwater, oceans, rivers, lakes. So among all these sources, what is the source which you use to get water? Do you know any other source of water? Do you know any other source from where we get water? We can say our tap. Our tap also gives us water at home. Our shower, tap, all these things give water, right? And these are man-made sources of water. So we can write that as well. Now containers used for water. What are the various containers which we use for water? So you can see we have these containers over here. Have you seen any of these containers? Yes, we have seen bucket. This is a water Milton. This is also a water storage container. Then we have this water bottle, and we have this can type as well. So we use all these things to store water. And there are many other ways. You can see glass. This is a glass, then water bottle. Then we have this huge big tank, also tanker, where we store water. This is used for like big storage water techniques. Then we have these tubs as well. Then we have the jug. So we use all these things to store water. So here is a question: how do you store water in your house? How do you store water in your house? So that's your decision. Most of us have like water tankers at home, in which we store water, and that tanker is connected with the taps in the house. So through pipes. So we store water in this tanker, and then whenever we want to use, we simply turn on the tap and the water immediately flows from the tanker into the tap and we get water. Okay, so now this ends our chapter of water over here. We would now move on to your book. Okay, so over here we have the screenshot of your book. The first page of this chapter has a poem. You can read this poem. Let's quickly read this poem. I'll wash my face with water, said Munna to his Nani. We all quench our thirst with water. We are all alive because of water. Water has been with us for ages. Its story can fill so many pages. Somewhere it is dew, somewhere it is snow. Stream is also water, as you know. Water has forms so many. That is what says my Nani. The river flow, the waterfalls sing, and water swells in lakes and swings. Life on earth it has brought, watered fields and life they got. But when the water breaks in floods, great misfortune it always works. Okay, nice poem. So, this poem tells us about the basic functions of water. Where do we find water? We find water in lakes, rivers, and in the form of snow, dew, normal liquid water, and waterfalls. So these are the various places we get water, and when this water becomes bad, what happens? It turns into floods, and floods bring a lot of damage for us. Floods are not good. They get floods को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? What do we call floods in Hindi? इसको हम लोग बाढ़ बोलते हैं, जब पानी बहुत तेज़ी से बहाव के साथ आता है एंड इट वॉशेज अवे एवरीथिंग, आवर हाउसेस एंड all the things in our houses, everything goes away along with the water. So water is good as well as bad for us. Plenty of water is bad for us. Okay, let's move to the next page. Now the question over here says, the first question, do you know any poem or song on water? Recite it in the class. Now this is your wish. If you know any poem or song, you can recite that poem in your class. Now the second question says, which are the places mentioned in the poem where we find water? So what are the places in the poem where mentioned where we find water? So here we have waterfall. We can write that over here. Hmm. So we have waterfall. Oh, this is very light. Then we have springs, lakes, and river. So these are the places mentioned in the poem where we get water from. Take the activities for which water is needed. So let's see what are the activities for which we need water. So we need water to row a boat. We need water to knead dough. We need water to make tea. We need water to paint pictures. We need water to grow plants. So these are the activities for which we need water. Now name 4 activities which you can do without water and you can do with water. So without water, let's see what are the activities we can do without water. We can watch television without water, right? Then we can do dancing without water. We can we can do sketching without water. Sketching without water. Then we can do running without water. So these are the activities that we can do without water. Oh now we have to write the activities that you cannot do without water. So basically we have to write the activities that we have to do with water only. So painting, you can't do painting without water. Then swimming can't be done without water. Then we have cooking. We can't imagine cooking without water. Cooking, we need water at every step in cooking. Then for washing clothes, we can't wash our clothes without water, right? So washing clothes. So these are the activities we use water for. Now water more or less. Arrange the following on the basis of the amount of water that is needed for each of the activities. Begin with the activity that needs the most water. Okay, so here we have to mention the activities in which we need the most water and the activities in which we need minimum water. So we need the most water to bathe, to drink, to clean the house, to water the fields, to knead the dough. Okay, so I think to water the fields we would need the most amount of water. What do you think? Yes, to water, because fields are very big and plants need a lot of water. So to water the fields we need the most amount of water. Now the second one, in which we need a little less water than watering the fields to clean the house. To clean the house, we need a little less water than the third one. After this, to bathe. To bathe, we need less water as cleaning the house. Then the fourth thing, to drink. To drink, we need water. And the fifth thing is to knead the dough. To knead the dough, we need a little less water than drinking. So these are all the activities arranged in the according to the amount of water they need. Now let's go on to another slide. That is another page from your book. Okay, now let's read. Water from where? In the poem you read about rivers, waterfalls, lakes and springs. We get water from all these places. We get water from all these places. From where do you get water? Put a circle around those places that are either in your house or around it. Okay, so we have to make a circle for the places we get water from. So let's begin. So like we can circle the places that we have around our house. So if I talk about me, I have a tube well around my house. I can circle that. Then we have hand pump. Then we have a tank, a tap, a tank and a tap. Almost everyone would be having at home, right? So these are the places from where we normally get water. Now some of you might circle river or pond. You might get water, a well also. Some of you must be having a well as well, so you can circle that as well according to you. Now have you seen hot water coming out of the ground? Where? So what do you think? Have you seen hot water coming out from the ground? You must have normally not seen a hot water coming out, but that's called a hot water spring that comes out from from the ground, and that normally isn't visible, so you must not have seen that, so we can write no for that. Now, does any river flow through your village or city? If yes, write its name. Do you know the names of any rivers? Write their names. Okay. So you can write the name of the river that flows around your village or city, like some of the common rivers are Ganga, Yamuna, then Kaveri. Then whatever river flows through your city, you can write that over here. Then we have Gomti as well. So you can write any of these rivers or any other name of any river that flows around your village or your city. Do you know the names of any rivers? Write their names. So here you can write the names of all the rivers that you know. So like Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, then Kaveri, Krishna, then we have Tapi, and there are many such rivers. You can write their names, Gomti as well. So here we have the names of a few rivers that you must have seen. Now next comes, let's try solving these questions. At home, where do you get drinking water from? So at home, where do you get your drinking water from? So you can write anything from taps. You get your water, so you can write tap. You can write tap. Then, do you have to go far to get water? How much time does it take to bring the water? So if you have to go far, you can write how much time does it need. If you don't have to go far, if it's available at your home, you can write a no over here. So if you are going far, you can write yes. And you can mention the time that's needed to get your water. Do your neighbors bring water from the same place? You can write yes or no according to the thing you are getting. If you are getting water from somewhere, and if your neighbors are also getting water from there only. Why do we need to store water? What do you think? What is the purpose? Why do we need to store water? We need to store water because it can't be supplied the whole day. We need to store water because it cannot be supplied throughout the day because it cannot be throughout the day. So it cannot be supplied throughout the day at and we need to use water for various purposes, right? So if we don't get water throughout the day, how would we use it? We would starve without water. So that's why we need to store water. Who fetches and stores water in your house? So you can write, if your father stores water, you can write that. If your mother does that, you can write that. If you do the same, you can write your name as well. Are there certain people who are not allowed to take water from there? You can write that as well. If any of in your neighborhood is not allowed to take water from the place where you take, you can write that also. Most of the you must not be having such condition, you can write no. So we are done with these questions. Let's now move on and see what we have on the next slide. So here are some water containers. You can color them in your book. Take a look at these pictures. If we fill them with water, which will contain the least water, which will contain the most water, how could you tell? So have a look at the containers, have a look at their size. Now what do you think? Which container will have the least water? Let's circle that container using a red color. The container that will have the least water. So the container that will have the least water, what do you think? It would be this jug over here, this small jug. This will have the least amount of water. Now let's circle the container that will have the most amount of water using a blue color. So the container that will have the most amount of water is this big basket, this big bucket. This bucket will have the most amount of water looking at its size. Now how could you tell? How could we find out? We looked at the size of both the containers and we decided, okay, this one is the smallest, this will have the least water, this one is the biggest, it will have the most water. Now here comes the next part. Here is Chutki. Chutki is confused. Now let's help Chutki over here. Hiren and Chutki were feeling very thirsty. Their uncle gave both of them mango panna in steel tumblers. But Chutki wanted to drink only in a glass tumbler. Her uncle poured the panna into a glass tumbler. But Chutki was not happy. She complained, "Uncle, you have given me less panna. How do you feel? Did Chutki uh, did Chutki did Chutki's glass tumbler have less panna? So what do you think? Have a look over here. Here are the steel tumblers in which Chutki and his friend got the panna. Now here Chutki says she wants to drink in a glass tumbler, so she's using this glass tumbler, but she's saying that she has got less panna now. Is it true? No, her steel tumbler's panna is now shifted to the glass tumbler, but what happened is this glass tumbler's width is more than its length. Its length is less, its width is more. So it's basically a bit ये थोड़ा जो ग्लास टम्बलर है वो बड़ा है एज़ कम्पेयर टू द स्टील टम्बलर, इसीलिए उसमें ज़्यादा हमारा जो पूरा पना है दैट इज़ कलेक्टेड. नाउ द स्टील टम्बलर जो है वो थोड़ा लंबा था, सो चुटकी वॉज फीलिंग कि उसको बराबर का पना मिला था, बट दिस टाइम द ग्लास टम्बलर ये थोड़ा सा छोटा है, तो चुटकी इज़ फीलिंग दैट शी हैज़ गॉट लेस पना. बट दिस इज़ नॉट ट्रू. चुटकी इज़ रॉन्ग. दोनों में सेम ही पना है, राइट? Now given in the grid are some places where water is found. Find 7 of them and put a circle around each. One has been done for us. So let's use the circle tool to circle the names of the places where we find water. So here we have first of all well, Then we have lake. Then we have sea over here. We have rain. Then we have pond. And at last we have tap. So I think we have circled 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. So these are the 7 places where we have water and we have circled them. Now let's see what we have further. Now in every row put a circle around one that is different from the others. Also tell how is it different. Now let's circle the odd ones out over here. So first one, river, mountain, lake, pond and spring. So among these we can circle mountain, and the reason is that mountain is not a source of water. We can write that over here. Mountain is not a source of water. Mountain is not a source of water. All others are source of water, but mountain isn't. Now the next thing, bathing, washing clothes, swimming, combing hair, kneading. So combing hair, kneading dough. We can circle combing hair because combing hair doesn't need water. So we can circle combing hair, and we can write the reason. Combing hair doesn't need water. Now the next thing, fish, duck, monkey, crocodile and tortoise. So in this case we can circle monkey. Why would we circle monkey? We would circle monkey because monkey doesn't live in water. It lives on trees while all others live in water. Monkeys live on trees while all others live in water. Now the last part, car, boat, bus, train, bicycle. So in this case we can circle, what can we circle? Car, boat, bus, train, bicycle. We can circle boat because boat needs water to travel. We can travel through boat only when we have water, and all others are land transports. So we can write all others are land transports. Okay, so we are done with this exercise, and this ends our chapter as well. So we have discussed a lot about water in today's session. I hope you enjoyed the session and got to learn a lot many things. If you felt this session is very nice and important, you can like, subscribe and share this YouTube video with your friends so that they can also benefit from this. You can also log into our Just Tutors platform. Let me show you. You can search the Just Tutors over here. You can try our worksheets, you can test your knowledge, and you can try the free study material from over here. And here you will get all your CBSE, ICSE curriculum, worksheets, test your knowledge, that is quiz questions, and free study material from here. So you can study from these, and if you enjoyed this session, please don't forget to like and let